How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Apologies for the delay. It's my bad again. This late stuff it's not always on me on the big six. Most of the time it's on other people, but sometimes it is on me. And today it's only me here. It can only be on me. But hit the like button anyway, people. It might be a short one. I mean, I was thinking about this today, and I was thinking, do I really need to do a video on it? The news to me kind of went under the radar. I don't really go on Twitter like that. I don't really follow all the hype as much as others do. So the news that the Xhaka deal went through and it was all official and the video came out and all of that, I found that, an hour or so after through someone asking me my thoughts about it. I was just like, my thoughts about what? And they was like, he's gone. And I'm like, what, he's gone? And they're like, yeah, he's gone. And video out and everything. And I went to check the video. I've seen all of it now and I'm just looking at it like, all right. Any other summer, had Granit Xhaka's been sold any other summer, I would have been here like, it's about time. It's about time, especially for 21 mil. I'd have been like, yeah, you know what, just bank it. It is what it is. We keep it moving. This summer, it's a bit different. I'm not going to say I'm upset about it because far from it. I think it's a position we needed to upgrade on. Actually, funnily enough, on DR Sports, when I did the keep, bench or sell video in January, and big up everyone in the chat, by the way. I didn't even big you lot up, but love for the love, people. Listen, I see a lot of familiar names and faces in the DPs. Hope you're all good. Hope you're all well. I'll move on to the chat shortly. Let me hold up the chat there. Oh, I've lost. No, I haven't lost it. I'm near the beginning. Cool. I got the chat there as well, so I'm going to go back through it and all that. But yeah, this summer, I'm just looking at it like, it is what it is. DR Sports, I did the keep, bench, sell. I got a lot of stick in the comment section from... All I said was bench, and by that I meant, listen, he's done he in terms of my expectation, he's done a fantastic job this season, last season when we're talking about it now. So I wouldn't mind keeping him as the backup or rotation option. We know we can go pretty far with him in the side. So, if we upgrade on him and he's still, coming in and out the side when required, he could do a job. I said bench. In the end, it's sold. I don't know. Does it come down to Xhaka? For me, it does. I don't know if Arteta would have preferred to sell him this summer or let his contract die down or whatever it is. I do actually think it comes down to Xhaka more than Arteta wanting it. But I think it comes down to the fact that Arteta knew we're gonna, not necessarily rebuild that midfield, but upgrade and add competition and minutes could be limited for a Granit Xhaka next season. And I think that was part of the decision maker, in my honest opinion. That, if you ask me why I think that, I don't really know why I think that. That's just what I kind of worked out from the way it kind of came out towards the end of the season when the league title was basically gone. It just felt like, yeah, I mean, they want to have a good send-off for him in the final game of the season, which actually kind of happened in a way, but straight after that final game, it looked like he might be staying, and then the news just kind of went dry, and all of a sudden now with the Rice deal pretty much done and dusted, medical to come, I believe. I haven't even checked up on that. You lot probably know more about that than me, but medical to come apparently. The Granit Xhaka got the seal of approval from our end. I think we should have just done it early and trusted our source in terms of getting the Declan Rice deal done, especially when we were willing to go up to 105. I don't know what we was really dilly-dallying with the Xhaka stuff for, because then he might have got the send-off, the special one he might have wanted at the end of the season. But it is what it is. For me, it wasn't about a send-off. For me, it was about appreciating that he did turn it around in, a lot in the last season. And you lot, well, I say you lot, a lot of the faces and names I'm seeing in the chat, especially early on, showing a lot of love and usually here supporting the thing. How I would come across in previous years when Arsenal ain't been doing what Arsenal should be doing. But this season, not this season, we're in the summer, but this summer we're coming off the back of our best season in the Emirates era. Best season in a long time, at least. If people want to argue, maybe 07 or whatever else. For me, it's the best season in the Emirates era. And yes, it didn't result in anything, but I'm speaking from a much better place than I have been in recent years. So in terms of Granit Xhaka, being sold, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, appreciate it. I'm gonna read out what he put on Instagram in a sec as well, because again, I found out the news late, and it's not even like when I found out the news, it's not like I rushed to see everything. I went, to see the video when the video was mentioned, because I was asked about it. And aside from that, I've seen the tweets here and there about it. But before I get into all that, let me get into the chat, because I'm gonna lose the chat otherwise. I'm gonna lose the chat. All right, let me scroll up quickly. I might have even lost some of it already. Big up Jashar, I see you there early. Johnny as well. Big up the members on the channel. Big up the members. Turkish late. Peter says doing a beautiful farewell video for his favorite player, Granit Xhaka. Could you imagine this was any other summer apart from this one? Could you imagine like how happy I would have been about it? I'm not necessarily happy about it yet until Arsenal, in my opinion, get the other midfielder that they need or we need. Xhaka played a big part last season, whether you liked him before that or not, and that's me. I'm describing me there, but I'm saying no one can deny that he had a good season, a great season by our expectations in terms of people that think and have thought like me about him and his level and performances since signing for the club. So yeah, big up Xhaka, respect, says Martin. Jake says, love you, Turkish. Big up. Come on, Jake. Love for the love, man. TK as well. Flawless. I see you, Kevin. Any chance I can get a reply on Insta? Message you on your last. On Insta? My last solo vid? I'll go on Insta, but I don't know what you mean by last solo vid on Insta. Unless you mean when I did my last solo video on YouTube, you messaged me on Insta. Oh yeah, I do remember. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna marry up the dates. Kevin, if you're there, you can just message me again now, and I'll definitely check it after this. Dave, Dave Jordan, 5 in 10 out. I remember you were saying that. The 5 in, bang on in my opinion. And we've set ourselves up well to be able to achieve that, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens, because if Tierney gets sold and you ask me what we need, I'm going to say we need another left back. But if you're asking me right now, what 2 other players would I want to come in? Striker would definitely be one of them. Pick out a Balogun and Eddie. Just pick one of them, because I don't really, want both as backups, because there's just not going to be enough game time, I think. Listen, I think 3 of the 4 competitions we're in next season, you've got to be playing the strongest. Well, not every. Obviously, you tweak things, but you got to be going strong. That's the Premier League, the Champions League, and the FA Cup. Regardless of what people may think of it, the League Cup, you can rotate the hell out of it and you can play who the hell you want, because to me it doesn't really matter. But Chase said I'm in tears. To me it doesn't really matter. But pick out of Eddie and Balogun. My opinion, Balogun. A lot of people's Eddie. Cool. Just if it was me, or what I wanted from Arteta is to pick out one of them to bring in another striker, different profile, and the other position. I think if you bring in a striker, different profile, it opens up Jesus to also play on the right side when Saka needs rotation, needs a rest, needs to be changed, whatever it is. So I think a striker would be enough. A different profile striker would be enough in terms of the attacking 3 positions. We've already got Rice coming in. We've already got Timber, which is definitely right back / centre back, is exactly the position I mentioned going into the post-season, pre-season, whatever, a few weeks ago. To have a position it's going to be another midfielder. It's going to be another midfielder, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, Caicedo and Rice, I wanted them 2 on top of Xhaka and Partey, let alone Xhaka leaving and me now not wanting another midfielder. So it would be another midfielder. I know Havertz has come in. I know Arteta said he's coming to strengthen the midfield. That's as much as I don't know how it's going to work. That's two midfielders in. But if you're losing midfielders, you need to bring more. And ideally, it wouldn't have been Xhaka and Partey. I'd want to have lost, if I'm honest. I wouldn't have minded, seeing off Jorginho, 12 mil in, 10 mil out, 6 months, tried to help us get there, didn't get there. It is what it is. We move, but it does look like it's Xhaka. Well, it is Xhaka, and it does look like it might be Partey. Even though all those rumours have kind of quietened down or not being mentioned as much. I don't know which one it is. Like I says, wow, 21.5 mil. Amrabat, who says no? Thanks. Granit Xhaka. I'm 100%. I'll take Amrabat. But actually, yeah, but then he wants Havertz as the 8. That's what he means by midfield, I'm assuming. So I guess Amrabat's not a bad shout. But it looks like we're keeping Jorginho. And we've got Declan Rice in there. And if Havertz is the 8, then Declan Rice is the 6. I wouldn't say no to Amrabat. I wouldn't say no. But yeah, I'd have to think about it in terms of who else I might prefer. 1 second. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I lost the chat. Big up Scarfuggery as well. You used to pray for times like this. Trust me. We're here. Let's just get over the line now. There's no point being here if you're not getting over the line. You need to be getting over the line. Joshua says, big up Turkish. If only every player had the time to prove themselves that Xhaka had. Xhaka only performed well in the last 2 seasons out of 7. Yeah, time, 100%. That played a big part. I think the changing of managers obviously played a part as well, because our squads, well, previous to this and the rebuild, our squad was a mess. So there was always going to be, even during a rebuild, because I'm quite harsh and I apply a lot of pressure, but even when you look at what we had to do, it was always going to take at least 2 seasons, at least, and that's pushing it really free when you think essentially 95% of the squad had to go. So there's always going to be some players out of that era that were going to get, the leeway along the way, whether that be a Granit Xhaka or a Mustafi or a Bellerin or I don't know, man. We could just list off. I don't really want to think about that era too much, but there's a few names for you that maybe with time they would have pulled out one season like this. Who knows? But it was always going to be the case. And in terms of consistent first team football, Xhaka would be the last one of that era. Wouldn't he? Yeah, he would be. It is what it is. He got the time, but he did do it. If only we won that league, and it all would have been. It all would have been for something more than, the love that he's getting from a lot of people. Joe says, on the other hand, had Wenger and Emery deployed Xhaka like Arteta has, we would have gotten so much more out of him. Yeah, there's a big case to say that. I mean, he did do particularly well this season in that position. I mean, even if we just look statistically on paper and you look at the productivity, to be honest, I haven't looked at the list of players in the same position or playing a similar position to him. But what was it in the end? 7 goals, 7 assists, or something along those lines. It was a good output. It was a good output for a player that I just didn't expect anything from. More than a good output for a player I didn't expect anything from. In terms of what Wenger and the way Wenger and Emery, Wenger, I just think, his time was up. part of Arteta deploying Xhaka there is Arteta's modern day. Someone said about the camera. What's going on with the camera? In terms of, that does look clearer, isn't it? Or am I going mad? Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, Arteta's modern day philosophy and way of thinking. I think that goes a long way to it. Unai Emery. I mean, Unai Emery, I guess, tried something of his own with the Torreira in the 10 sort of role or the 8 sort of role, however you see it. That wasn't to be. And that partly what cost him in the end in terms of question marks about his ability and all of that. But Granit Xhaka, Mikel Arteta, it finally clicked. I wouldn't say if he was deployed in the 10 or if he was deployed in the 8 previously under these managers, it would have necessarily worked. I think even when you look at Arteta, it's not like he put Xhaka into that role in the first season or the second season. It took him a while, and I think he had to rebuild a lot around before being able to trust him, I guess, in that. Well, I guess it's not too much trust because we couldn't trust him in the 6 or a double pivot. We saw that enough. But it took Arteta a while to finally put him in that position, and I think a lot of the time and patience around that was due to him needing to fix other areas before being able to utilize him there. So yeah, all in all, I hope that answers what you're saying, Joe. Credit to Arteta. A says Turkish. Don't forget that we still have Holding and El Nene part of that regime. I know, that's why I mentioned the whole start and 11 thing. That's why I mentioned the whole start and 11 because El Nene and Holding. Well, El Nene and Holding now because with Timber coming in, there's no Holding. It must be now. Like his time must be up. I expect something to happen with him in the next few weeks. Hopefully we get a little decent fee. We'll see because Timber's in now. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Kivior. That's a good set. Whether even if you put Timber as the right back, you're looking at Ben White as one of the 4 centre backs there. Tomiyasu can play. So to be honest, Holding's time is pretty much up as well. El Nene, yeah. But he has Jorginho and probably Rice in front of him. So I don't know how much we will see of him, if I'm honest. But yeah, we'll see. Costa says, opinions on ESR, playing really good in midfield and getting goals and assists. And do you think he can have a big role in midfield for us next year? Big up Turkish. Come on, Costa. Love for the super chat. By ESR playing really good in midfield, I guess you're talking about England under 21s. I've only seen bit part highlights, and yeah, he does look a lot fresher. He does look a lot leaner. He does look like he's back or close to some sort of fitness level or full fitness level to be able to play. So I expect pre-season, but then at the end of the day, with this, has it finished? Is it still going? This under 21 stuff? Are they still in it? I don't know what's going on. So isn't a holiday due after this? Pre-season starts in what? 2 weeks? Just under 2 weeks. Is he going to be on our pre-season? Because I think that's important as well. As much as he's getting game time and whatnot, I think it's important that he plays some part in pre-season for us, so we can test the waters and see what it's all about. But I like ESR. I wouldn't sell him. If we did sell him, I wouldn't necessarily be throwing my toes at the pram because I'd understand why, especially if it was a healthy bid. But surprisingly enough, there's a player in there. I mean, years ago, I used to think, listen, I don't think Emil Smith Rowe is going to work out. Young player, showed some quality, but I just don't see it. Then the season before last, he bags what, 10 or was it 11 in the league? A lot of goals off the bench, but some starting as well. I'm not going to necessarily say he got all those goals off the bench. So there's a player in there. You know, if you can reach that output in the Premier League, then there's a player in there, especially at that young age. Pargal says Arda Güler to Real Madrid. What do you think? I'm actually excited. You know, I'm excited for him. Do I think it's? Listen, it's never the wrong move to move to Real Madrid. It's always the right move because you know Real Madrid is something else. You know they're something else with the history and heritage and all of that. I get it. Um, they can flex like no other on and off the pitch. So I understand that that you know it's never the wrong thing. But he is young. I mean, I didn't want him to come to the Premier League this young. That's for sure because technically he is, you know, he is quality. And he's mature beyond his years technically. Physically, I think the Premier League might have, you know, exposed something. I think La Liga is a good move. I don't think Real will rely upon him. You might see him here or there. You might see him loaned out. I'm not too sure how it's going to work out because it's not necessarily a big output either. It's you know a release clause, quite cheap, very cheap, if we're talking about this day and age. So TK says he'll play for us in 5 years. Turkish TK, who do you support? Who you talking about? Are you Real or? Because I remember the name, I don't remember who you support. I can't remember that, but yeah, yeah, I'm excited for him, man. I'm excited for him. How can you not be? You know, when a player from your country signs for a big club, especially when your country is not necessarily known for the greatest football moments or greatest footballing teams and all of that, or greatest footballing players, then you know it's a big thing. It's a big thing. Can't get carried away yet because Oh, TK says Arsenal. I hope so. I hope he does kick on at Real. But the thing is, I hope he kicks on at Real and you know does bits. But if he does that, then Arsenal are going to need to be in a very healthy position in 5 years to be able to get him because you know Real will want to be keeping him if he's doing his thing for them. And getting a player off Real is not easy. But North London, Turkish people, Kurdish people, you know, there's a lot of us, so you know, home away from home in a sense. So maybe we can do something. Maybe we can do something. But yeah, I mentioned, or did I mention? I was about to mention Emre Moore, another player from Young that he looked like he was something else. He looked like he was going to be a cut above. In the end, it didn't work out for him. Didn't work out for him, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's because of the moves, because he went Dortmund. Did he go Dortmund? Yeah, he went Dortmund, and that's a good move for young players. You know, if you don't find your feet there, you know, question marks start to come out. So not too sure. You know, I think it was more attitude wise than anything, and I mean towards football as well. In terms of attitude, I just think it just never worked out. So if Arda Güler, I hope it works out. I really do. I really do. But we'll see. We'll see. Let me scroll the chat. Let me scroll the chat. Cool. Where are we? I was even gonna bring up the TK says he has discipline issues in terms of Emre Moore. Where are we? Yeah, I had on Instagram. This is what Xhaka said. Gunners, it's been some journey, and all that's left is for me to say thank you. I've spent 7 years at the club. The club has become such an important part of my life, and it's not easy to leave. But now is the right time for a new adventure. There are so many people I need to thank: the managers I played for, all my teammates, and the staff behind the scenes. And I especially want to thank all of you. Everyone knows we've been through some tough times, but we came through them together, and I'll never, ever forget the feeling I had each time we won the FA Cup or whenever I heard you singing my name. Pure goosebumps. I will always carry Arsenal in my heart. Once a gunner, always a gunner. And yeah, with a picture of him, you know, with the charity shields and FA Cups and all of that on Instagram. That wraps that. That wraps that. I don't think we ever need to, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. I just think you know we move on now. We move on. We move on. He's getting a lot of love, you know, and that's nice, cool. It is what it is. But I just think we move on. I'm all good. Thank you for the last season. We won't get into the rest. See you later. No need to catch up in a few years. That's just me. So hopefully another midfielder's on the radar somewhere along the line, but there's a lot of the transfer window left. There's a long time. It looks like 3 signings under our belts before preseason kicks off. That's very good. That's proactive. A lot of money spent. That is good in terms of showing ambition and applying pressure for sure. So we'll see. We'll see. Arteta, I've got Arteta's quotes here as well, because just before this stream, I thought I might as well see what people are actually saying about it, because I'm coming to talk about it. I don't necessarily care. And here we are. Arteta, we are saying goodbye to a fantastic player and a person loved by all of us. It has been an incredible journey together for him, and he has been given absolutely everything for this club. The influence Granit has had on his teammates on the pitch and colleagues at the club will tell you just how popular he is. We cannot thank Granit for his service and contribution to this club over the years. We wish Granit and his family all the best in the next step of their lives. Yeah, and that's it, man. I've got Edu stuff here as well, and I've just got some opinions of it is what it is. We move because there's someone else, someone else in the thumbnail as well. Juryen Timber. What do I know about him? Not much. I mean, if you saw me on AFTV the other day when the news broke that, what was the news? He's set for his medical. I believe the news was yesterday. I said on AFTV, I don't know much about him. All I know is kind of profile and bits of clips here and there. Obviously, I've read up a lot more about him and opinions from Ajax fans and journalists over in the Netherlands and so on. And I actually love the signing. I can't lie, I love the signing. When you could, obviously, I haven't seen him, but I love it in terms of everything I've read, seen so far, and profile wise. I love the signing because we needed a right back / centre back. This is one that was wanted by Ten Hag as soon as he went to United. So he was Ten Hag's go-to in that sense. A player when you look statistically this season, because that's all I can really look, because I'm not watching Ajax, barely, let alone week in, week out. Sorry, I got a message. Statistically, likes to play on the on the ball. Most touches, I believe, for Ajax. I think his most touches, if you compare his last season to the Arsenal centre backs too. Obviously, different leagues, different setups, and different levels of pressure and so on. I understand that completely. You can't take much from it, but it bodes well in terms of understanding what kind of a player we're getting. So a lot of touches, a lot of passes. He's high up in the list in terms of passes made, and his pass percentage is also high. I can't remember it off the top of my head. This is something I read. I said the numbers on AFTV anyway. Interceptions. So, his anticipation is on point. I mentioned the other day in terms of Declan Rice's anticipation, interceptions. That's kind of the difference between him and Partey. I think Partey is the better player now, but I think in terms of what Rice brings and then what Arteta sees in Havertz, I do see a Rice Havertz Odegaard there. So yeah. But let me not divert away from the main subject. Timber interceptions, Rice interceptions. You can kind of see what Arteta wants to do there. He just wants to apply pressure. Leaked a lot of goals, and I remember quite a lot of goals coming through the middle. So I can understand why it was necessary to reshape the midfield, maybe, and I can understand why we're getting players that have that kind of anticipation and reading of the game to nip in before trouble even reaches them. And I think Rice and Timber are 2 players that can do that, and it offers us the option to play Tierney as a left back, Timber as a right back, because he's apparently equally confident slotting into the midfield from the right back position. So yeah, very good signing. 40 million. or 41 million it works out to, something like that anyway. Sounds like a very good signing. Hopefully it's a very good signing. Listen, I'm slowly but surely getting back to that when I don't know, it's hard because I grew up in a different time. But so if there's a lot of people that if there's people that grew up in my time, you might understand me more. But when you was that fan that just you wasn't you wasn't too fussed about all this. You was fussed about the season. You was fussed about trying to win the league and us and United and going back to back and all of that. But when it came to transfers, it was like, hopefully we wake up one day, we sign a player, we sign two players. Hopefully it all goes well. But we're waiting for the season to start. Now it's a very different time. But I'm slowly getting back to that. Just do what you need to do. Even with the Havertz one, am I a fan? No. But just do what you need to do. I'm trusting you lot now. If that's who you want, then let's see what we're gonna do. Let's see what we're gonna do. Clinical. What do you mean solo stream? I thought we wouldn't get another till 20. Bro, what's this? My third solo stream in the last 3-4 weeks or something. 3 weeks. Third. I'm out here. Love for the love. Park Gal says Gabriel Jesus looks insufficient to raise goal scoring. Don't you think Leao would be an important addition? Listen, goal scoring wasn't a big problem last season. I think when you look at the game we dropped points in, it was a lack of a plan B overall that kind of cost us. A lack of a option to change things up a little bit when things ain't going well or you're being stifled. It wasn't necessarily scoring goals as an overall problem. I like Leao. I'd love Leao to come Arsenal, but he plays predominantly off the left-hand side. That's Martinelli. I love Martinelli. I wouldn't want Martinelli replaced at the moment because I think Martinelli's ceiling is one of the highest in the Arsenal squad at the moment. So do I think Leao would be an important addition? I think Leao would be a great addition to any side. And I think Leao would be a great addition to us. But overall, if you're saying Jesus looks insufficient to raise goal scoring, then you got to look at the numbers. And I guess what it looks like Arteta wants is the Liverpool front three or the City front three back, a few years with Sterling and Mahrez bagging goals, Salah and Mane bagging goals. He wants that front three where the striker is there to open up more for the wingers, the inside forwards, than for himself to bag the goals. If that's what he wants, then I guess with age, Martinelli and Saka, great output last season. With age, more might come from them. And then, Jesus, more might come from them. And then we actually win the league or we do something else and, we're all happy come the end of the season. And Jesus would be a big part of that. But like I said, in terms of the goal scoring in Leao adds goals for sure, but not, I don't think it's what we need right now, if I'm honest. Only way I'm thinking about moving Martinelli at the moment is Mbappe. Yeah, I said it. I've been saying Mbappe a lot recently. People have probably seen me on DR Sports mentioning it. Mentioned on the Big Six yesterday as well. People are trying to draw me out. But yeah, I just don't like people laughing at that. Especially people that support clubs that, have they even got a chance? Nope. They did not. Where was we? Let me go back up the chat because Armitin, please answer. How good is Arda Güler? Bro, I've answered him. Like, what do you want me to say about him? Fenerbahce is my Turkish team, but I don't watch them week in, week out. I've seen quite a bit of, I won't say quite a bit. I've seen a bit of him, and he looks a good young player. Like I said, Premier League not ready yet. Real Madrid, big step, can never be the wrong move. But it might not be the best move. We'll see. Only time will tell. Big up Omar, man. Omar, my guy. I see you. OG Omar. Listen. When I first started this channel, 100, 300, 500 subscribers, Omar was there. Probably the first mod, Omar, isn't it? You're probably the first mod I had. Not even probably, you are. You are. Dave, Dave saying, please produce a Skyrim report. Bro, he didn't sign for Arsenal, so it is what it is. Obviously, I love it for him, Real Madrid, but yeah, I ain't about to do a Skyrim report. I'm gonna look out for him though for sure. I just don't think he's gonna get much game time early on. So we'll see what happens with it. What about Vlahovic? What about him? I mean, if we got him, different profile striker, cool. I'll be happy with that. I can't lie. I'd be happy with that. I know it hasn't worked out for him at Juventus, but sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes things don't work out. So, it is what it is. Systems and all that now, getting the best out of players because you play a certain way and, all the cogs fit. So this player excels or that player excels or this group excel. Could work in other systems. I mean, he was bagging before. Big Energy says, bro, Arteta didn't even want the real Ozil. I doubt we had any interest in the region. Do you think Arteta didn't want Ozil? Or do you think there was more to it? I don't know. He played Ozil. Initially, as soon as he came in, he played Ozil. Then he played Ozil. COVID happened. The pay cut thing happened. We never saw Ozil again. Well, am I right in saying that's how it kind of played out? So from November to March, he played him for the 5 months or whatever that is. COVID, and then I don't know if he didn't want to. I just think, just the relationship between Ozil and the club completely broke down. If I'm honest. I see someone saying chat. You know what? He got played after that as well. The way the club responded to that is still a disgrace till today. Especially when you see other people talking about other things but not getting the same reaction about it. But we know what it is already. But in terms of Arteta and Ozil, I'm not too sure Arteta didn't want to. I just think the situation was kind of bigger than him at that point, very early on in his Arsenal career. Don't you think Ali Koch should resign? Just don't see Fenerbahce winning the title. You see, the Turkish league, Fenerbahce have been pissing me off for time. Arsenal and Fenerbahce, it's like they want to piss me off at the same time. But like I said, I'm not that invested in the Turkish league. So I can't help you. I can't help you at all. What are you asking me? Do you just don't see Fenerbahce winning? I don't see us winning the title, Fenerbahce winning the title right now under anything. If I'm honest, it's for a few years. It's felt like maybe a couple players away, or 2-3 players away, and it hasn't happened. It is what it is. I see one more here. Did I miss it? Where are we? There we are. Everybody and their nan said Ozil was lazy for years. He would never have suited our system under Arteta in the long run. Anyway, 100%. Yeah, that's a good point. In the long run, there was no hope for him. But I guess there was no long run for him either. I guess Arteta just had to make do with what he had to make do with early on and try and get the best out of them. But in the end, it wasn't to be. It is what it is. It happens. We move. Like I said, I'm talking from a much better place if we're talking Arsenal right now than I have been for years. So when Ozil and Wenger and Mustafi and Xhaka and all of these people back then used to make me sick, it was because of what I'm seeing from Arsenal. Now Arsenal are, going the way they should be going, doing what they should be doing, and more. When you look at the FIFA Declan Rice, finally, it does feel like, we're either entering a new era or they're trying it with us. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, it's entering a new era. Because 100 million fee definitely shows something. It definitely shows something. So yeah, Pargal says, if Arsenal played against Fenerbahce, which team would you be? Arsenal all day long. That's an easy question, because it was obviously growing up when I was young. I'd see my uncles and all that just going mad in front of the TV, watching Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, Besiktas, Trabzonspor, all of this, and my uncles were Fenerbahce fans, so it just came with the territory. It came with the territory. But in terms of support and love at Arsenal, I mean, I grew up in North London, Wood Green to be exact, so it's not the closest, but it was close enough, walking distance. So there's no contest at all. You know what Wenger was like, bro? He didn't care if all 11 players had low work rate as long as they had 90% pass completion. Bro, again, you see this subject? When people are, because it came out the other day that Wenger might get a statue or something along those lines. But you see, when this subject comes up about Wenger, asked me a couple of years ago, I'd just be like, do not ask me right now about this guy, because I still don't, all is not forgiven because we're still in this mess, until this mess clears. I'm linking it back to that regime. And I'm not saying Wenger was the be all and end all, because I still think it was the ownership. I still do think it was the ownership. And Wenger was the shield for them. But, ask me now, and I'm like, Wenger, statue, listen, he's a legend. He's a legend. And he gave us the only thing I can use against fans that talk shit about not having a Champions League, talk shit about not having a treble. He gave us the only thing I can use, and that's the Invincibles. Not easy to use, but I must use it, especially if I'm on the big six, and I will use it. Scar's probably clipped that bit as well. We'll probably see that at some point this season. It is what it is. Let me get rid of that comment there. What's my thoughts on the Wenger statue? Wenger's a legend. Listen, I'd probably put the statue of him holding the gold trophy, actually, if I'm honest. That is a legendary picture. I'm sure most of us have seen it when he's holding the small gold Premier League trophy above his head. That would be a good one to do. Because I'm thinking, what other, obviously with the players, you link the players to iconic moments, the Bergkamp touch, the Henry celebration, the Tony Adams celebration. With Wenger, it's hard with a manager. Do you just put him like that? Do you just put him with a long coat? I guess the long coat could work. But I think the Invincibles trophy would be the one to put. You know what keeps on coming into my head? You know the one where he got sent off against United and he was in front of their fans just like that. That's a good one still. That was a good one. That was when he was annoying the hell out of me. But when I saw that, I was like, all right, cool, Wenger. He started flipping towards the end with Jose and these antics and all of that, zipping his coat up. Do you think Arteta elevate himself in the All or Nothing documentary? I think this impressed other players, and this shows in the last few windows. Well, to be honest, I saw something today. I didn't follow it up by actually going to see or hear it myself. I don't know where it came from. I think it was Danny Murphy on Talksport, if I'm not mistaken. But what I saw was the quote in image format. A lot of people probably know what I'm going to say, but he said something on the lines of Arteta was very important to Declan Rice's decision. And when I generally hear these things, I just think, especially because generally they come out of people or establishments that are closely linked to the club, and you can see it as a PR move. When I see it linked to, well, I saw the quote first because Declan Rice was in the picture, and I saw the quote, and then I looked, and then it's Danny Murphy in a small little circle. I thought, what's this guy got to do with Arsenal? And it's not, it's not all the time that this platform is is promoting positive or good stuff about us. So what's going on here? Then I saw it again on Twitter as well, in image format, with the quote written out and Danny Murphy there. If that's the case, then I don't know what Arteta's cooking, really. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Always known he speaks well. He's spoken well from the first day he entered the club. He said predominantly the right thing 95% of the time since he stepped into the club. I have, and I know we have, heard quotes and seen things here and there that we haven't liked. But like I said, 95% of the time, in my opinion, been happy with what he said, and you know, being frustrated even though you're leading at half time in that all or nothing documentary. That's the attitude I want to see. I saw it from some of the players too, with Ramsdale not being happy with a clean sheet even though it's 3 points. These are the things, the culture you need in a team that really want to win. I think that was something lost, and I put a lot of credit on Arteta that he helped turn that around. um but yeah, the all or nothing, I think it did impress, and I'm glad to hear that players are talking to Arteta and are being won over. That's for sure, because Rice could have gone to a lot of clubs. He could have gone to a lot of clubs, but it seemed solid from early that he was very much intent on Arsenal. So credit where credit is due, for sure, for sure. Let me just scroll up because I think a few more super chats came in. Pargas says, in modern day football, miss seeing a player like Bergkamp Cantona with high IQ, charisma, and elegance. Football's changed a lot. This is why the young people don't like when I say it, and you know they try and make me feel like an old man when I say it. But football ain't what it used to be, without a shadow of a doubt. Trust me on this, young ones. This ain't what it used to be. It's still quality, 100%. You still got quality players at that 100%. But football ain't what it used to be. And these two names are two names that just when you say it to a certain generation, they'll understand that there isn't players like this anymore. There isn't. And there's a long list of names you could reel off for it. But it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. Would you keep Pepe for another season if that means we can go big in other areas? For example, we have Pepe and Tchouaméni instead of Diaby and Lavia. Obviously, you take the first one. Tchouaméni is, as much as Lavia looks quality and he's gonna, Tchouaméni's there. He's there. In terms of young players that are able to consistently perform, he's there. Pepe though, Arteta don't like Pepe. And I don't mean this personally. I mean, he just doesn't like him as a player. I just don't think it works. I just don't think it works. So I prefer the first. I prefer the first on top of what we're getting now. But the latter is more realistic, and I don't mind the latter. The RB and Levy, I don't mind the latter. I'll be honest. I'll be totally honest. What would make you more happy the most? Arsenal winning the Champions League or Turkey winning the World Cup? You see this one. This is a fucked one, because my answer tends to change a lot depending on how I'm feeling. And the thing is, it's funny because when you ask a lot of people are straight away like, how can, like, it's club over country. I just got to say, when Turkey finished third in the World Cup in 2002, it was a mad feeling. It was a crazy feeling. I can't lie, let alone win it. When they finished third, it was a crazy feeling. The streets of North London, that probably added to it all. But the Champions League for Arsenal would just shut man up. It would just shut people up because that's the one thing that, like I said before, I've got the Invincibles to be able to clap back in some way, shape, or form. But when we're talking about multiple Champions Leagues, I'm just swinging that air here. So Champions League, Arsenal, Turkey, World Cup. Difficult. Can't answer it. Can't answer it. Right now, I can't answer it. Arsenal Champions League. Do you know how good that sounds? Do you know how good that's? But then I'm just picturing Turkey winning the World Cup. I'm thinking, what? World Cup? Nah. I can't answer it though. I can't answer it. It's a very, very difficult decision. It's a very difficult one. MCE. I'm not. I'm not. I can try. I might. I'll see. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. But I should be back towards the end of the month, though. I should be back towards the end. Actually, no, I'm going America as well. It's all over the place. MCE, love for the support on the UFC watch-alongs, though, because you're always there as well, and you're always asking me about them. But they'll be back soon. 100. They'll be back soon. Um, where are we? Where are we? Most happy. All right, I got that one in. Big energy as well with the super chat. What do you think this? What do you think the ceiling is for Saka? He has the unique body strength that all the top players have. Robben, Messi, Salah players of that ilk. The ceiling is world class. That's that's the ceiling. I know a lot of people classified him that last season. Not yet for me. Obviously, consistency is key as well. If we're talking world class, and consistency for me is 4 years, producing week in week out or at the highest level consistently. Um, Not necessarily having to aid your club into winning trophies, because I know a lot of people use that too. But sometimes players are at clubs that just ain't built like that, or just can't get it over the line, or just don't show that necessary ambition, or just can't cope with the strength of the competition. Um, but Saka, his ceiling is high. You look at his output and the trajectory of the output, and this season, what was it? 14 goals, 11 assists. That's quality. When you look at his age, that's quality. So if we're looking at that and we're looking at his age, and I'm talking about the next 2 years, I can see Saka on about. If Arteta wants to build a system where I mentioned that the striker is there to accommodate for the forwards, the left side and right sided forward. If that is a system Arteta, because I still think there might be a a curveball somewhere where we see something from Arteta's system that we haven't seen before. Don't forget that this whole Xhaka coming into the 8 position and us playing in that way only came about 18 months ago or 16 months ago. So he kept on changing things here and there. Then Jesus comes in 12 months ago. So all these things have been. There might still be twists and turns to the tail. But if that's how we're setting up, then the striker to accommodate for the wingers, then I'm looking at 20 goals. I'm looking at 20 goals either side. That's what I'm looking at. I say either side because I'm bringing in Martinelli into the conversation. But I'm saying Saka, if you're getting 14 now and this is the plan, I'm looking at 20 goals in the next 2 years to hit that. Obviously set high targets, so hit that. Well, why are people telling me Ornstein and these things here? What's he saying now? You know what? The news ain't really stopped when it comes to Arsenal recently. I don't mind this. I don't mind this. Like I said, just challenge and flex. In the season, challenge. In the market, flex. Challenge, flex. Challenge, flex. And that's all I want as an Arsenal fan. Just please, that's it. William Saliba today signed a new 4-year contract at Arsenal. 22-year-old defender was into final 12 months of previous deal, and fresh terms secure him until 2027. No option to extend, worth 10 million per year. No release clause. Announcement on Friday. Nice. Obviously, we knew that was coming. It was pretty much confirmed a few weeks ago. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. That is as big as any signing. That is as big as 105 for Declan Rice. Because Saliba is, on the way to being a world-class centre-back. He has all the qualities needed to be a modern-day, great. And locking him down was key. I think locking him down was probably the most difficult of the contracts that needed to be sorted, and we done it. We done it. Official, signed, sealed, delivered. 2027. Did he? You know what? I've just forgot what I've just read. Did he mention the 1 year 1 year clause, or was that just a myth? No option to extend. Okay, because I remember when it initially came out, I think Romano said 1 year option, so no option to extend. You know what? It's going to be a mad couple years, people. It's going to be a mad couple years because Saka am I wrong? Can someone confirm this with me in the chat? Saka, Martinelli, and Saliba all have signed 4 year contracts, no option to extend. Yeah, 4 year, 2027. Because I think that's the case. I know that's the case for Saka. I know that's the case for Saliba. If that's the case for Martinelli as well, it's mad already with Saka and Saliba. But if that's the case for Martinelli, then it's peak. I don't mean peak in necessarily a bad way. It could be peak in a great way. But the next 2 years are going to be vital in terms of being able to secure their next contracts, which must sign the 4+1. Sign the 4+1. That's what people are saying. There's an option to extend. I've just read I don't know. Nothing's confirmed. I guess it's just Ornstein, it's just Romano, and all of that. But because Omar's saying there is an option. So how are you not telling me there's an option, and Ornstein saying there's no? I'm not saying I believe one over the other, but what's going on here? 2027, no option to extend. That's the words I'm reading. That's the words I'm reading. Someone said they all have the option. And I'm reading. There's no option. Said if they all had the option, then there wouldn't be a need to say no option. So yeah, but big energy. Yeah, that's the ceiling for me. Did you book the Uber for Xhaka like you promised? I don't think he needs it, man. I don't think he needs it. I think he's good. He'll get to where he needs to get to, man. Leverkusen ain't far. Leverkusen ain't far. If Arteta wins Arsenal the Champions League, but then gets a job offer from Real Madrid, do you think he will leave for Real Madrid? Well, Arteta's a Barca boy first and foremost, but at the same time, he isn't, tied to them like a Xavi or a Pep, and so on. So, as much as he's a Barca boy, do you think he will leave for Real Madrid if he already wins the Champions League with Arsenal? No, I don't. I think he'd want to win the league as well before maybe. I think we've got a young manager on our hands, so I'm sure he's got a plan in terms of what he wants to do in his career. So, a Champions League and a league, I think then he might want to start accepting offers. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. One step at a time. Give me the Champions League, and then we can talk about the rest. Joshua says, big up Turkish Saliba, my guy. I told, man. Joshua. It is happy days though with Saliba. It's happy days all round. It's happy days all round. I know it was pain at the end of last season, but now we're a few weeks into postseason and nearly into preseason. You look at last season and say, all right, we nearly done something special. It is what it is. What do we need to do? You look at what we're doing, and we're doing it. We're doing it. And we're doing it emphatically as well. So things are good right now. Things are good. This doesn't equate to a guarantee that next season we're going to be happy with it. That's for sure. Because I think after all this and the trajectory we've been on, a trophy is a must. And I think challenging on all fronts is a must. I think they're the two bare minimums for me. All fronts, bar the League Cup. I'm talking about League, Champions League, FA Cup. Challenge on all fronts, win a trophy. And when I say a trophy, I'm really looking at the Premier League, Champions League. But let me not get ahead of myself. I'm sure I saw one here that I missed. If I've missed something, people, apologies. But there's 1,000 in the building. It is a late one, so hit the like button. We've just hit an hour as well. And hay fever is killing me. It's killing me. I just don't understand it. It's been finishing man for a few days now. I've hit 85k as well. Big up everyone that's subscribed over this stream. I've hit 85k. Love for the love. Appreciate that. Really do. 15k left or 15k to go to the big 100. Will I make it? We will see. We will see. Fingers crossed, because I want to make it. I can't lie. I never thought I'd do it, and I don't really care like that because I like the community we built. But I see people with these plaques, and I'm like, nah, I want one of those, man. I want one of those. So when I'm just out here, old 50, 60, I look at it and I think, yeah, I did my thing back then. Maybe I'll still be doing videos. Imagine that. Why wouldn't I though? It's easy. You turn the camera on and start talking about, you know, what you watch on a regular basis. Yeah, I might be here for life, people. You might be seeing me in 20 years still doing YouTube live or whatever new platform is out in 20 years, offering my opinion. Fingers crossed, I'm still here. And fingers crossed, Arsenal. When I'm talking in 20 years, we're talking Champions Leagues, we're talking leagues on leagues, we're talking the greatest team the world has ever seen. But we'll see. Best beard on YouTube is gonna infect me with flu. I ain't got flu, Omar. I got hay fever, my bro. Hay fever. When I'm ill, I say I'm ill. I don't really give a shit what people think. What the fuck can a man be ill? Everyone gets ill. But this time it's hay fever. And if you've got hay fever, you know, at nights it just hits you more. Sometimes in the day you're blessed and you're thinking, I got this under control. Then the nighttime hits, the sun goes down. At a time you'd think logically that how's hay fever hitting you at this time? There's no sun, there's no rays, there's no thing like how it hits you for 6. It hits you for 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Worse at night. Worse at night. And I just don't take anything for it because none of these things work, man. Telling me to take this tablet and my nose is still acting up, or I'm still sneezing like a madman 20 times in a row. Can't control myself. Come on, man. I might as well just firm it. Pargal says, Turkish food, which one do you like the most? Kuru fasulya or Adana kebab? Oh, that you can't. That's two ends of the spectrum we're talking about there. That is a crazy one. That is a crazy one. So basically, all right, look, it's one I can't pick from, but I'm just gonna tell you. So part of my family are from Adana. So I've been Adana many times, especially as a kid. Part of my family, a lot of my family, my granddad and grandma on one side, they lived over there. So Adana is a big part of, or has been a big part of my life. So Adana kebab, I've waxed the creme de la creme of Adana kebab. So I'm gonna lean towards that. But you see, kuru fasulya, a bit of cherek. Yeah, I done with it. I ain't even eating. It's 10 past 10. It's too late to even eat, man. This is what I'm saying, man. It's too mad. Hi, Turkish. If I'm planning a trip to Turkey as an African, where would you recommend? Bro, I ain't been Turkey for a long time, you know. I got north. So you see, my thing is it's all mad. When I'm talking about culture, it's all mad. But basically, this the when I say dad on my dad's side, that's my stepdad, basically. So he's from Adana, and that's that's my dad. I'm just explaining to you. My biological dad is North Cyprus, which is the Turkish side of Cyprus, which is an island close to Turkey and close to Greece and so on. My mum is half Turkish Cypriot as well, like my dad, and half Irish. So biologically, I'm 3/4 Turkish Cypriot and 1/4 Irish. But because the dad that I grew up with is Turkish mainland, Adana, that is where I used to visit a hell of a lot. So 1 year be North Cyprus, 1 year Turkey, 1 year both. So I've got close links to them all. But now I tend to go more to the North Cyprus side because it's all mad with my dad at the moment. So I'm gonna go Turkey soon though. So I can't really help you. I mean, Istanbul, Adana is a very nice place. Yeah, Adana is a very beautiful place as well. You'd like it there. But I can't tell you, I ain't been for a long time. I ain't been for a long, long time. But yeah, there we go. Bless up Turkish. When is clip 4? New York ready. The last one just come out like 5 hours ago. Don't worry, the editors are working on it. But like I said on the Big Six, I know Big Six is shot off, but just know it's still just us, man. It's still man running the thing. It's not like it's been sold to a major corporation or we've got a management team or we're linked up with Tom, Dick, and Harry and we're doing this. It's still just us. So people just need patience. There's a team now. There's the 6 of us. We'll never forget Steve, by the way. That's why even in the appreciation message for the Fox stuff and the support, I mentioned Steve because Steve's been a big part of it. Big up Ryan and Matt, the production team that helped us out in New York, the production team or the people that are on board now and part of the Big Six team. Big up Skullfuggery as well. Big part of it already. Going to be a bigger part of it moving forward. But we've got to take our time with it because I don't want to just, move too fast and fuck it all up. Part of why, in my opinion, it's been so much of a success is patience here and there as well. So patience is required. If you look at the quality of the vlogs coming out, mad. From vlog 1, 2, and 3 and the house tour, crazy. Still one more vlog to come out. Still the pool tournament we done. Obviously, if you've seen the house tour, you'll know there's a billiards, as the Americans would say, or pool table, as would say. We had a pool tournament. It was actually mad. It turned out better than expected in terms of how it ended. So we've still got 2 more videos to come out. They will come out over the next 10 days. 10 days, maybe 14, let's say 10, 14 days. This Sunday, we've got the best bits coming out. Each video will be separate. The one that we went through last night on the Big Six. If you haven't watched it, then go watch it. But the best bits videos are coming out individually on the channel. So it's all coming. It's slowly but surely we're getting there. Big up Turkish. Would you take Zaha for Saka cover? I've never seen Zaha play on the right hand side, bro. That's the only thing. So I can't say I would. Ricky said yesterday's Big Six was a classic. It actually was. And it's all on Skullfuggery. The quality in those edits is crazy. It's actually crazy. Where are we? I got roasted in that clip of I got roasted. Skullfuggery. Imagine man pays him and he roasts me. It's crazy. I called him today. He said, "Have I still got a job?" I said, "Bro, I'm still thinking about it. Shit could go left at any moment." He's pushing it. Lucky Arsenal are pleasing me at the moment. Turkish is an old man now. He was a serious baller. Adam, I was a serious baller. I'll give you that. So it sounds like you must know me. And I am an old man now, if I'm honest. Not old like that, but yeah. Look back now. Son gonna be 3 in 6 months. I haven't played football in a year and a half, albeit coming back real soon. Knee sorted. That's another thing. If any of them man are watching, they should be ashamed of themselves because that foot golf, I beat them all twice with a torn meniscus. With a torn meniscus. But now that's sorted. Well, I say sorted, it's been removed, so it's not really sorted, but yeah. It is what it is. Toby says, so good to see you enjoying the Arsenal. Following you for so long, and we used to pray for times like this. We're doing big things next season, my bro. We have to. We have to do big things now. Big things only. That's it. That's all I want to see. Toby, thank you for the super chat. And you know what? This is exactly how it should be. We might not win the league next year, but like I said, challenge on 3 fronts and win something at the bare minimum. Yeah, that's the era we're in now. Challenge for the main 3 and win something. Bare minimum. Yeah, listen to me, people. Bare minimum. Doesn't mean I wouldn't take the treble, that's for sure. Did I have cartilage damage from the meniscus injury? I believe not. I didn't the first time because this is the second operation on it. The first time was 2018 March where they repaired it. They told me then there was no cartilage damage, but then obviously it happened again December 2021. Hence why I haven't played football for a year and a half. So I don't know if the second time... I don't think so, though, because the second time was mad. I played football on a Friday. Sunday, I'm getting out of bed and my leg just... If anyone's torn or ripped a meniscus, then you know what I'm talking about. But it just locks up. It feels like your knee's going to burst into a 1,000 pieces. But yeah. All right, people, we're going to wrap it up now. Super chat just come in. Just in time, Jashar. Just in time. Big up Turkish. I can't tell how much time I've spent rewinding skull videos on the Big Six shows. My daytime work productivity is shot. Again, Scarfuggery legend, genius, magician. So glad he's part of the team. We're building something special, man. We're building something special. Make sure you follow up the official channel, subscribe over there, because sooner or later, everything's going to be on that main channel when it comes to the Big Six, and that'll allow me to do more on this channel or bring back a lot more on this channel. Because in terms of the originals, the ones that came up on this channel before the Big Six was the Big Six, there was a lot of solo videos, a lot of content, Arsenal based, but I think I've moved into a place now where, once the main channel Big Six takes on everything, including the main Big Six show, I'm going to do a lot more on here, and it doesn't necessarily have to just be Arsenal. It will be other clubs too, because since the Big Six has come on, there's been a lot of other fans subscribing to the channel. So to cater to those fans, many ops along the way last season, then I'll review some of the dead signings you make here and there too. I'll big up the signings that I think are worthwhile though. But yeah. Just want you to know I'm here. My bro. Love for the love. Thank you for letting me know. How am I just conked like that? But you know what it is, yeah? I was thinking after watching that, I'm thinking, what did these lot want me to do on a 7-8 hour flight? How are you recording a man conking on an airplane? That's like creeping into a man's bedroom and just recording him sleeping. That's what that's like. Skull, Matt, Ryan, if any of you lot are watching, yeah, you can't be recording a man when he's sleeping on a plane. Because there's no bedroom, bro. Ideally, you want, before people say, yeah, you could pay for... I ain't paying no extra £1,000, £2,000 for no upper class exotic cabin in the plane. I am good. I will sit down with my knees scraping the front of the back of the chair in front. I'm good. Yeah, I've got my neck brace. I'm good. But when you go, you think you go with people that you trust. And I sorted the whole thing out. And the moment I closed my eyes, I'm gonna have to review the production team. I know I bigged them up earlier, but when I really deep it, the first time I closed my eyes around them, I've ended up a DP on YouTube. The first time. Cool. Cool. But listen, people, I'm going to wrap it up here, man. Hour 15 minutes. It was meant to be a short one. It turned out to be a long-ish one. I know sometimes I've done 2-hour streams, but it is what it is. Xhaka's gone. Okay. Another midfielder, please, Arsenal. But we'll let you get the sales in first, or I'll let you get the sales in first before I start to worry. But yeah, love for the love, people. I'll be back again when, I don't know, when Declan Rice is official. Maybe a welcome to Arsenal vid. I didn't do one for Havertz. That is what it is. Rice, Timber, soon come. Saliba, new contract signed. We've got a match next week. Make sure you subscribe. Put a notification bell on because more solo vids to come. Big Six still to come next Wednesday. And subscribe to the official Big Six channel because all of the best bits videos are coming out this Sunday, as well as one that wasn't aired on last night's show. It's the Super Chats best bits of the season. I haven't even seen it yet. None of us have seen it, so we're all looking forward to it. That's on the official channel, the Big Six. Make sure you subscribe there. Make sure you subscribe here. Love for the love, people. I'm out. Peace.